Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tighnari. I've been asked to do a build guide on him, and today I want to show you a build guide for him. This is going to cover some weapons for him, artifacts, team comps, and I won't really touch on constellations because I only have one and they aren't necessarily needed. So let's go on ahead and get right into the video. Alright, let's start off by looking at my Tighnari, and I'll tell you where I can improve my Tighnari and make him even better than he is. Now, as you can see, he has 1311 for his attack, 231 for the elemental mastery. That elemental mastery could get bumped up a lot more, and the attack could suffer a bit more, but we'll talk about that later on. Now, starting off, you can see that my crit rate and crit damage numbers are atrocious. You do not want this. You want way higher crit damage. Probably shooting for about the same on crit rate though. I've just been super unlucky with my artifacts and unable to get a solid crit damage rolls. Now let's go on ahead and look at some weapons for Tighnari. Currently I'm rocking the Stringless on him as it gave that elemental burst damage of 36%, and that was actually super nice for Tighnari, as well as the elemental mastery, so I didn't have to focus as much on elemental mastery and it made up for the artifacts not having them. Let's go on ahead and look at some other options that Tighnari would have for his bow. Up first, there is clearly the Ibis Piercer. This is the new event weapon from Summoner's Summit. This is going to give us a solid attack percentage as the secondary stat on there, as well as for the ability, it's going to give elemental mastery of 80 at R5 when a charge attack hits an opponent. This can stack twice, giving us a total of 160, which is more than the elemental mastery on the Stringless. Another good option for free-to-play people would be the Stringless. This is going to be a bow that's going to increase your damage by 60% after your normal or charge attack hits an opponent within 0.3 seconds. Now, if you're using Tighnari correctly, you're shooting the charge attack directly at the opponent. It's going to hit, proc the passive on Slingshot, and give you that 60% bonus damage. Up next, let's go on ahead and talk about the artifacts on Tighnari. Up first, let's cover that you're going to want to rock Wanderer's Troop, as this is going to give an increase to elemental mastery by 80, as well as increasing your charge attack damage by 35%, which is perfect for Tighnari. Now, first up for my flower, clearly, you're gonna have HP. This flower and plume are always going to roll the same, in case you did not know. The substats you want to look for on this are going to be crit damage, crit rate, and elemental mastery. You really want to try to get a lot of elemental mastery on Tighnari, as this is going to boost up some damage for him. And we'll talk about that later on. Next up is the flower. As you can see here, mine could be so much better. I've had no good luck getting the Bard's Arrow Feathers, so the Wanderer's Troop's plume, and yeah, this was just the best one that I had at the moment, and hopefully I'll be getting another one later on. Wink, wink. Next up, we're going to talk about the Sands for Tighnari. Again, it's kind of the same concept as the feather here. I am rocking an attack percentage, but you do not want to do that. You really want to shoot for elemental mastery here. Again, I've just been so unlucky at getting elemental mastery and Wanderer's Troop artifacts that are decent, so I haven't even had a chance to attempt to roll any. But again, you're just going to want to shoot for crit rate and crit damage. Next up, you have your Goblet. Clearly, you just want Dendro damage bonus here, as your charge attack shots are going to be dealing Dendro damage. Luckily, for this one, I actually got a decent piece. Now, last but not least comes the Circlet. Here, you're going to look for a crit rate main stat, and then for substats, you're going to want crit damage, possibly attack, energy recharge if you are struggling a bit, and elemental mastery. So as you can see, this defense roll ate a lot that could have been into crit damage and made this a lot better. But those are what you're going to want to look for here. Now, just to give a little bit of an overview, here's a graph on screen showing what you want to look for your artifacts and substats and main stats. Now comes the talent section of Tighnari, where we're really going to get into why that elemental mastery is so important. Now, as you can see here, you can probably tell exactly how you want to level these stats. First up, you're going to want your normal attack to come the highest, because this is going to be his main way of dealing out damage, and this comes from the charge attack here. Now, if you look, you can see that there are 2 charge levels to Tighnari's charge attack. The first one is just going to fire an arrow that does straight dendro damage, nothing special about it. Second level is where we get interesting here. This is similar to Ganyu's, how she has the 2 charge levels, but slightly different. First off, the Wreath Arrow is going to be what takes over for the charge shot. This is going to shoot and deal dendro damage similar to the charge level 1, but upon the hit, it'll create 4 cluster bloom arrows that will track the opponents and deal more dendro damage. We really want to get this combat talent leveled up for just basic normal attacks, because that's where the Wreath Arrow damage and cluster bloom damage are going to get higher and higher and higher. Up next, we do have to talk about Tighnari's ability, just the mine that he throws out. We don't really care about this, as all we're really looking for here is that it's going to decrease Wreath Arrow's charging time by 2.4 seconds, basically turning this into an instant charge for Tighnari's bow. As you can see here, it's just going to get thrown and instantly charge up to where you can shoot it and get that Wreath Arrow damage. Finally, let's look at Tighnari's burst. This is going to be his second main way of dealing DPS. Now, as you can see, it's going to shoot 6 Tanglevine shafts that track opponents. These Tanglevine shafts break off into a secondary wave that track. So similar to his charge shot, charge 2, it's going to shoot, hit, break off, and hit again. For his first passive, we have Tighnari's Wreath Arrow hits and increases his elemental mastery by 50 for 4 seconds. This is going to be really solid and play into his secondary passive, which is really going to be where he shines. For secondary passive, we have every point of elemental mastery, the charge attack and Fashioner's Tanglevine Shaft, or his burst, are increased by 0.06%. The maximum damage is going to be 60% extra damage this way, or 1,000 elemental mastery is going to equal that 60% increased damage bonus. And that is going to increase his damage quite a bit, so we really want to look for elemental mastery on Tighnari's artifacts and getting his elemental mastery high. Alright, and finally, let's go on ahead and talk about Tighnari's and some team comps that you can run for him. Alright, now this is the team I'm currently rocking for Tighnari. It's going to be Tighnari, of course, followed by Yae Miko, Nahida, and Zhongli. The reason I'm rocking this is Tighnari and Nahida are going to give us that Dendro Elemental Resonance, and that is going to increase our Elemental Mastery just a little bit more. Now, Yae Miko is here to proc Quicken and Aggravate. This is going to come from the Dendro and Electro reaction, and this is going to give us really good damage. Her turrets are super nice, as we can cast those, swap off to another character, and then just let those do the Electro damage. Nahida, I mean, it's Nahida, man. I mean, one of the best Dendro applicators in the game, and really solid choice, and can dish out some good damage. And then last is Zhongli, just for shielding. Now, you may be looking at this and thinking, wow, that's a lot of 5 stars. I don't have those 5 stars, so can I not build Tighnari into a team? No, you can easily replace some of these people. First off, let's start with Yae Miko. For Yae Miko, we're really just going to be looking for an Electro Applicator. Now, a solid choice here is going to be Koki Shinobu. She's going to allow us to shock opponents that we are right next to, as well as heal anyone that's going to be needing the heals. Next up, we have Fischl that you can rock as well, as Oz is going to be a solid Electro Applicator. And if you have C6 Fischl, that's even better. And for the truly F2P players, you can rock Lisa. Lisa's going to be a solid choice at giving you that Electro application through her burst. Next up, let's talk about Nahida. Now for Nahida, she is one of the best Dendro applicators in the game and just a very solid choice. If you don't have her, I highly recommend pulling for Nahida next time she's up. But if you don't have her and you want to be rocking Tighnari, you can run either DMC, Dendro main character, for your Dendro applications and Dendro resonance, or you can rock Yao Yao, who will heal as well as apply some Dendro for you. And last but not least, you can rock Kale. Kale is going to be another solid Dendro applicator that you can throw on and use to get those aggravate and quickens. Now, finally, we have Zhongli. Now, you're probably thinking, I don't have Zhongli. I don't know when he's coming back. That's totally fine. He is a very flexible spot that you can throw in here. Now, you could throw in Beidou here to get the Electro Resonance between Yai and him, or whoever you're rocking instead of Yai. Or you can really just run any other shielder or healer and it'll function perfectly fine. You'll just have to adapt your playing style a bit, but you'll be able to totally use this team. Alright, well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. That was my first little guide I've kind of done on a character. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. This was a lot of fun to make, and I actually had a lot of fun doing some research into Tighnari and finding out what works for him and whatnot. Definitely next time I do this, I want to get a lot more B-roll footage going. But yeah, be sure to keep an eye out for these, and may all Tighnari wanters become Tighnari havers. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.